morning, beloveds. We're starting a new adventure today. It's also, I think I might have to swim to work. It's raining really hard out there right now. So I'm like, oh, okay. But we finished the Science Mind text yesterday. And today we are starting the Voice Celestial. Okay. So, Ernest's, it's an epic poem. It's an epic poem in the tradition of like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, where Ernest and his brother Fenwicke tackle metaphysical ideas in poems, in poetry. I don't know what this is going to look like. I've not ever read this before. So this is going to be new to me. Because at least when I'd read the, this thing called You, I'd read it several times. I've never read this before. I don't even think I have a copy of it. This is actually not my copy. But on the back of the book, it says, why are we here? Where did we come from? Where are we going? Answers to these great enigmas of life are explored in the Voice Celestial. Based on the profound learnings and deep spiritual insights of the authors, this epic poem, a classic of metaphysics, proposes that we live in a loving universe where men and women are masters of their own destinies. What you need to know is that there are a couple of characters in the Voice Celestial. There is the Farer or Wayfarer, which is you or me or anybody who tries to solve the riddle of human life. There is the Presence or the Voice Celestial, becoming audible to all who develop the inner ear. The Scribe or Observer, who reports the conversation between the Farer and the Presence or Voice. And the Masters of the Ages, who appear to the Farer while they are in higher states of consciousness. So, and like that's, so it's called First Book, Reverie of the Farer. And I brought my lamp because it starts off with, had I the genius, I would pluck each star proclaimed by these great souls, and with them form a new and brilliant galaxy, and set them so in place that they would shine as one. Too long, men analyze, dissect, and into parts divide philosophies and faith. So, I mean, this is what we're doing. So, and because I've not read it before, you probably won't get a whole lot of commentary in the beginning until I kind of get my feet underneath me. But that's what we're doing. So I probably ought to do what I like to call the housekeeping before, just reminding you we're Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The info@creativelife.org is the constant contact. You get one email a week if you sign up. And the social medias are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan. So please go like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. It bumps us in the algorithms, and you get to see more stuff like this where we're going to start reading poetry written by Ernest Holmes. I'm kind of excited about this because, like I said, I've not read it before. So you and I are going to experience this together for the first time. So, yeah, it's, wow. The first book is like 15 pages. I'll probably do like 4. I'm not sure if there's going to be good places. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I see. What I will try and do is note when I switch voices. And yeah, go from there. And I'm definitely going to be using the lamp because, oh, Lord. So if the light looks a little weird, it's just me trying to help myself. Okay. Which means I need to make sure I keep it charged. So, The Voice Celestial, Book 1, The Reverie of the Farer. And I'm going to read it the way it's written. I'm not going to gender neutral this. I'm just going to read it the way it's written. Just remember that anytime that the Wayfarer is you and me and anybody else looking for answers. He came at sunset to his home at last, unchained at night from slavery to the day. Ah, night, he breathed, angelic spectre, thou, who dost possess a million eyes or fears. I shall relax, and in a sweet content review the day, for good outweighs the ill, and for tomorrow comes. It comes, no doubt. I shall arise and spin the wheel of fortune once again. But then he faltered, for the word tomorrow was overcast by doubt. Are there tomorrows? How swift the change in all things manifest. Elusive, beckoning, and like a wraith, dissolving into air washed out by light. Today, tomorrow, what are they? And what was yesterday? Where are they now? These days of which I speak as real. Are they but dreams? Perhaps the now is all that does exist. I wonder if, when I am dead, that I shall know that I am dead. Why am I here? And who and what am I? I heard, I think, or does it rise in me? That man is soul and lives the mortal span, to save his soul by deeds and thoughts and prayers, to clothe himself in immortality. What joke is here? What laughter for the gods? If gods there be, I too shall laugh at those who fictionalize a living soul, a wraith, a specter of the mind, and then go out into the waste to find and bring it back again. And had I a soul, and knew I had a soul, would gladly work to save the soul I had, and all the other souls of overburdened men. But who is there to prove and justify a faith towards which I lean without a hope? Creeds, dogmas, candlesticks, and sandalwood, gold, ivory, and marble chiseled walls. All these are still of earth, while I have need of an unearthly, if such there be. I must find the real behind the things that seem. But where, oh, where to look and what to do? I know that poets, seers, and those they call the avatars, embodiments of the gods, declare they know by other means that there exists another world beyond. They say it was revealed to them or to another who stood behind another whom they knew. The mystery, they say, has been unsealed unto a chosen few. But I would like to know what I myself can know. I crave to know the meaning of great words. I ask that life may be defined, and what is love? Perchance I, too, can grasp a key that opens up the door and for myself unveil the mysteries. Or I may hear a voice beyond earth, hearing or seeing a presence which shall reveal to me. I know in parts, at least, the sayings of old faiths, religions great and small, and creeds, and creeds, and creeds. I shudder here within my lonely room, complex and dread. How often they affirm damnation each to each. From them no answer comes to me unless a something stirs within me, and I hear a voice out of the void, if such there be. This is going to be the scribe. The scribe is describing the farer. His mind was spinning like a whirling wheel that comes to rest by chance, yet never moves beyond its orbit to a higher plane. He seemed himself to be upon the wheel, bound there by dread, necessity, and fate. He knew that the wheel had spun and once again had come to rest upon the same old shibboleth, a form to hide the emptiness that lies in ancient mystic abracadabra. Though folly pass from age to age, and through 10,000 years of tonsured heads, it still is folly at the end. 'Tis so with truth, but how am I to know, though true or false? He laughed at this, a bitter laugh. How now, O timeless Sphinx, he says, thou face inscrutable, cold, calculating, cruel question mark, who does bestride the ages like a god? Will Delphic speech break from thy sandstone lips to shatter all the silence of the ages? Perhaps I am myself the Sphinx, a dumb, unblinking stone that broods but does not think. O God, if God there be, O soul of souls, I cannot bear the hollowness and pain that fills my heart with loneliness and grief. How can I bear the emptiness of ignorance? I want to know, and know I know. Alas, alas, should I concede the heaven that some have taught with angel choirs and wings, I must accept their hell as well, with cries from purgatory and bat's wings. Far better this, dumb as I am, to build my heaven or hell out of myself. I have the stuff from one, perhaps the other. O mystery, on mystery so piled, that I would welcome death could it display the figured tapestry beneath the shroud. 'Tis said that Jesus knew, and that the cord which binds the body to the soul remained unbroken, and that he rose and walked. I was not there. Oh, how then shall I know if this sweet tale be true? 'Tis sweet enough, I swear, I was not there. We sail a storm-racked sea, and in the depths the hulls of ships, the skeletons of men. They will not rise and skim the sea again. All things run to this sea at last. The rose is dying as it blooms. Its perfumed breath is its own self dividing in the air. Its petals fall, and in the end the sea will claim the ashes in its depth. Is this my fate? Is there no hope, no voice, to break the stillness of this deathly pall? I had my hopes of it one night. I felt a strange cold breeze that broke the stifling heat, and something passed me in the air and whispered. Where was it? Let me see. Can I recall? Oh, yes, I see it now. The light was dim, and people strange to me were gathered there, in faith that they might speak, and he bespoke. By entities discarnate, souls of men who broke the barrier that divides the living and the dead. This is their word, not mine. I know so little and must see and touch and hear before I can believe. We have not died, it said. You change your garb because your wrap is worn, your garment clay, but life is life and cannot die. I do not know. I wonder. Shall I say? I know that those who claim to know, because their faith proclaims no other source than theirs, affirm that things like this can never be. Their faith delivered to the saints forbids. Their saints have shut the out-hinged door of heaven. From faith like this, sweet truth deliver us. And yet he had no rancor, for he hoped. Behind the panoplies of every faith, some truth was hid, some presence felt. If some survive, he thought, then all survive. And since all life is change, then all will change. He wondered why some took delight in fear, or seemed complacent when they talked of hell, and on their soul declared there was no way by which the soul unshriven could escape eternal doom, nor even pass into oblivion beyond Elysian fields. The Farer stirred and shuddered on his bed. He wondered why such thoughts should come to him. For I know none who knows, he said. Or if he knew, I would not know he knows. He laughed with mirthless humor. How well I know I do not know, can I aspire to find a way. But woe, most awful woe, besets me if I fail to try a living death. But where shall I begin? I shall begin with life, he said. Of this I am assured, I am alive. And what is it to live, save that I think? And I can think back from effect to cause. The very greatest of the thought overwhelmed him. How swiftly reason points the mind to unknown cause, he said. But does it verify? He could not sleep, excited by the brightness of his quest, excited by the bigness of his quest, and more excited by the thought that he must hold within himself the answer, for through his mind must march the serried ranks of masters, hierophants, and sages, and all their sayings, all their works, and all their lengthened shadows in those who follow after, who chant their articles of faith. And he must pass upon the theologies, philosophies, and all the songs inspired by faith, for men do build cathedral spires of hymns and songs. For poetry is priestess to the soul, and tends the fires which, by Prometheus filched, were first to heat cold reason. All these must play their part upon my stage, but in the end I must decide, accept, reject, for I, and only I, can know within myself and for myself that which is true. For me, not even God can faith compel, not even he reject. He sought for truth, he said, and not alone for God. The Farer. If there be God, why? It is well, but I seek truth, and whether there be mind or no within the cosmic scheme, and should it be, then shall I further quest a way to speak, perhaps to hear, and should it speak to me, then gladly to obey. But truth itself can never lay commands. For dogma is the mummy of the past, long since embalmed, but not interred, wrapped round with grave clothes of intolerance. The God of such belief is not the God I seek, nor can be real to me. I search for God, unfettered, free from cloying garb, of priests whose bony hands and tonsured pates bespeak a niggard of faith. The scribe. He laughed aloud, to his vision came. He laughed aloud, for to his vision came the images, the sculptured forms, the gilded domes, the naked paunches cast in bronze, hawk-headed Horus, son of Osiris, and gargoyles leering frightful. To minions of the netherworld, for superstition ever molds a form, for ignorance to worship or to fear. The Farer. Then what is judgment, justice, hell, or heaven, but that which man creates? Is this not true? The hell designed by those who seek to put the fear of God in man with flame and fork, and Satan and his horde is crude and bears the imprint of an atavistic age, a throwback infantile, for so it seems to me. It cannot be that heaven stands aloof from prayer, if so it be the soul's desire of him who prays. But as for me, I cannot hold with those who claim to pray the sinner out of hell, and so transport, like some Aladdin's rug, the rascal soul, unscathed from those hot flames so dearly loved. In theological lore, else would be the flames, unfed and withered, die a sorry thing for those who hold to fear as best designed to frighten souls to heaven. The scribe. He fell into a state of wonderment, and every cell of him was shaken, like aspen leaves that tremble in the night. Enthusiasm, that drunkenness of the gods, which thrills the worshipper, thrilled him. He would himself launch out on such a quest, a farer going forth to find the truth. The Farer. My battle cry is truth. My banner shall be faith. I think I can, but where shall I begin? I first of all must turn to mountain peaks of personalities and what they saw, before men canonized and commonized and cracked the sacred crystal. To Vedic hymns that sang of the creation, to Egypt's sacred keeper of the flame, to Hebrew prophets, to Moses and the law, to Zendavesta, prayer books of the Parsi, transcribed by Zoroaster from the gods, or wise Lao Tzu with his Tao of old, whose wisdom, lost to China, sealed her doom. I shall essay to sample all the ore of every land and age, but most of all extract the gold of those rich mountain souls who lived the message that they taught, like Krishna, Buddha, and the risen Christ. A tunnel I will run beneath the shaft that bears the gold of every age, and so from each will draw the wealth to build the temple spires that upward point to God. I shall absorb from every source all that I can of systems known to man. Let them assume a single body with a voice that speaks to me as though it were the primal voice which first proclaimed, "Let there be light." The scribe. 'Twas then that laughter caught him unaware, a kind of shame that he had dared to match his wits with nature and with man. Those men whose names were cut in stone, the seers of science, philosophy, and faith. How did he dare to check his thought against such men as these? But time ticked on, and suddenly he thought, the fairer. But this is now, not then, today. And I am heir to all they knew or claimed to know, and I am scion of their wisdom, which may, through me, give birth to knowledge and to clearer sight. For each new soul is heir to all the past, and may make him prophet of the things to come. With the voice of the scribe, he saw with comic inner eye the look of horror on the faces of the past, of Jove with readied thunderbolts, astrologers blear-eyed with peering at the stars, the high priests of church and science prepared to nail him to the cross. And then he laughed again with joy until it boomed across the ceiling and along the walls, a cataract of sound that filled the air. For on another highway he could see, advancing in the light with banners high and trumpets full ablaze and clear, a new processional, and on each breast the one word, truth. To his amaze, the vestments that they wore were those of priests and scientists and seers, no other garb than such as others wore, and with them marched initiates and rites of schools long gone, the mystic cults, whose passion plays had introduced the Christ. And there calm Plato marched with Socrates, Aurelius, Plotinus, Paul, and Jesus Christ. And following close were many saints, St. Augustine, St. Francis, and mystics, small and great of yesteryear, and players with their stringed lyres and instruments of brass, with Mozart, Mendelssohn, and sacred choirs, and poets singing songs of deliverance, and hope and faith, and souls illumined, who through the ages dark kept alive the sacred flame. The fairer. A goodly company I claim, not prodigals, whose wasted hours are tarnished o'er by fear to try, for they were farers, not vagabonds like me. They pressed on upon the flying feet of the winged gulls and found the happiness that lies in the pursuit. And each drew some bright star from all the galaxies of heaven. Oh, would that I might be for that sweet caravan, the camel driver who, in the storm, lashed by the whirling sand, might find oasis in a desert place. Had I the genius, I would pluck each star proclaimed by these great souls, and with them form a new and brilliant galaxy, and set them so in place that they would shine as one. Too long men analyze, dissect, and into parts divide philosophies and faiths. Let me but posit this, the gold of truth, if it be truly gold, would melt in one great crucible. 'Tis this, no less, that I shall now essay. The scribe. A trembling shook him, but around his head a nimbus formed so bright that to the eye, had there been eyes to see, it would appear a brilliant microcosmic galaxy. Let me but posit this, he spoke again. All truths must fuse in one, for truth is one, and I shall find the truth. And then he laughed. It was his saving grace. And that free laugh that rolled like thunder all along the wall seemed suddenly to leap through space and shake the trembling stars. The tensions of his thought were silted, for he at last had set the goal. He knew what he would do, and as he mused, the primal light burned in the gloom, and through the narrow gate that opens to the soul, a presence came. He knew him not until the presence spoke. The presence. Fear not, for I am he who sits beside the veil. The scribe. The Farer stirred and murmured tremblingly. The Farer. I know you not. Are you for death or life? The scribe. The Farer felt a coolness like a breeze that rises with the morning light, which springs from nowhere, as though the day had breathed, and as it breathes, gives forth a glow to warm. And of its approach, and first it shone like a light. Through alabaster lamps, so white it was. Then the Farer stared, and the presence took on shape as though the air congealed to form, half filled with fear and half with hopefulness. The Farer gazed upon the apparition while it appeared to clothe itself within a golden envelope, such aureole as artists paint around the heads of saints, as though to magnify the soul and make it visible to men. It shone so bright. The Farer could not look into the light. The presence spoke to him as one who knew his thoughts as well as words, both old and new, who, though he drew the truth from heights supernal, employed but simple speech, kind and fraternal. The presence. Thy voice has reached my ear, I hear thy cry, and though my brightness daze thy mortal eye, yet here I am, and I will give thee aid. Rest thou in peace, and do not be afraid. The Farer. I cannot rest, and I can find no peace. I am a pawn of fate, a mere caprice. There are so many lanes of wandering thought, so many moods of doubt and fear are caught into the web of my uncertain mind. I cannot sleep and leave them all behind. Tomorrow holds such duties to be done. My mind leaps up before the rising sun, and pits its strength against the newborn day before I let the old one fade away. The presence. Yet even now a master waits your word, a power within which by your voice is stirred, to lift the weight of doubt, drive out the pain of throbbing drums that beat upon your brain, the old regrets and stifled memories, suppressed emotions and uncertainties. It bids confusion and all fear begone, that you may rest in peace until the dawn. The Farer. Such in my deep desire, my soul is in agony, cries out for that which has eluded me. The presence. Be patient, then. I come with this design, to wake thy master self. The power is thine. In you, the substance of a greater man. In you, the purpose of a cosmic plan. In you, the vision of a central flame. The voice of truth that calls you by your name. The Farer. O God, if gods there be. The Presence. Stand forth, O soul, flamed round with cosmic fire. You shall achieve at length your heart's desire. And while your body lies in sweet repose, your never sleeping self expands and grows until your lesser self develops power. You shall wake at last to that great hour when nature claims the triumph of its plan. It shows through you the infinite in man. The Farer. I am so small, so very small. I seem to be no one at all. The Presence. Out of the common stuff of earth, God brings uncommon men to birth. The brazen gates shall ope. Hold thou to hope. And we have completed the first chapter. We will start with chapter 2, which is the celestial presence, tomorrow. All right. Been a ride. It's going to be one. And this is the nature of poetry. I appreciate it when he hit that rhythm point. That made it a little easier for me. So now I'm going to encourage you. It also reminds me how to pronounce words, because it's like, oh, that next word. Oh, okay, that's how that's pronounced. Because occasionally he's using words and I'm like, yeah. So, poetry. I'm kind of glad I took that class in high school where I learned to read dramatic poetry. So, all right. I went to a competition one time and did a Russian poem in high school. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of business day, a let's wrap this week up day, let's enjoy the weather day, a happy Valentine's Day, a don't eat too much chocolate day, or eat all the chocolate day, a take care of yourself day, a take a break if you need one day, a drink plenty of water day, a bundle up day, a enjoy the day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right, beloveds. I'm going to remind you that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9. I get to go to the park tomorrow, so around 9. We'll start the second chapter of The Voice Celestial. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.